So thank you, Ala, for introducing me. So I'll be speaking today about how feasible and effective is it to support caregivers with light touch resources during an ongoing war. This is a case study of implementation of the parenting resources that Ala mentioned, and I'll be talking a little bit more about what they are later. So in today's discussion, we'll give a brief overview of the context of the study methods, some preliminary findings, and the barriers to the intervention delivery. So the Ukrainian context is such that Ukraine has been in the ongoing full-scale invasion since 2022. Ukraine is the second largest country in Europe and had around 47 million people of the population, and at the moment there is 3.7 million internally displaced persons in Ukraine. They're distributed all throughout the country. However, as you can see on this map, there are these dark blue regions where there are more people concentrated. Interestingly, so the front line is around here, and you can see that the people from the areas of the active fighting or that are occupied moved not very far from their original places and stayed close to the front line that is still very much attacked. So this are the regions that we concentrated on in our study. 22% of the internally displaced people are children. So in our study, we focused on Kharkiv, Zaporizhzhia, Dnipro, Odessa, and Mykolaiv. These are these 5 cities that are close to the eastern part of the country that are regularly undergoing bombings from the Russian side, but the families still live there. We targeted the caregivers of children aged 9 to 14, and the intervention was a 2-hour discussion group delivered online and offline, centered around positive parenting. So the things that were included in the intervention were things like importance of praise, importance of spending time with your child, but also establishing routines, even though it might be difficult in the context of humanitarian crisis. But also importantly, it had an emphasis on the well-being of the caregivers themselves. The outcome measures that we used were very brief questionnaires before and 2 weeks after the group that included both children and the caregivers, and also some in-depth interviews. So in addition to the groups, we also distributed some informational resources like tip sheets with very practical advice, a booklet where all of the things that we discussed in the groups were summarized, and a short video. So if you think back to the pyramid that Ala was showing in her presentation, these resources lie at the base of the pyramid, so they are very easy to deliver and they can cover a large number of people. However, they're lower in the intensity. So this is the example of the questionnaires that we used. So very simple questions about how many days in the past 2 weeks have you praised your child for something that they did well, spend time with the child, but also about the well-being of the caregivers, so felt depressed or hopeless. So the preliminary results showed that we had seen an increase in the praise for the children, increase in speaking calmly to the child, and increase in the self-care of the parents. And we've seen the decrease in feeling depressed and in emotional abuse, even though it was still quite low at the baseline. I'll just leave you with some quotes from the families. I liked hearing from other parents as to how they deal with the situation, how they explain to their children what is happening. I also liked when my concerns were addressed by the facilitator. When asked to do something for myself, I realized that I do everything for my child. I don't think about myself. After the group, I went and bought for myself something I wanted for a long time. So these are just some photos from the group, and the barriers to the interventions were, linked mainly to the uncertainty and ongoing situation of crisis. And with this, these are wonderful people that were involved in this research. Thank you.